Hey guys, Ryan from RD Arts, and today we're talking about sidechaining dynamic EQ. Hey guys, so in today's video we're talking about sidechaining dynamic EQ, what it can do for you in a mix, and what it's doing to your mix in regards to what you're sending through that EQ. So let's go ahead and dive on in. First off, the song we're using is called Pursue, and it's from Lex. I'll go ahead and put the link to his TikTok down in the description. And next, we're going to be using two different EQs for this example. We're going to be using the Persona Stock EQ, Pro EQ, and we're going to be using the Curves Equator from Waves. I think that gives a nice visual representation of what's going on within your mix and what you're doing to your mix. So what is a dynamic EQ? Dynamic EQ works a little bit differently than a normal EQ in a sense that it masks frequencies only when a threshold is hit. Now, a normal EQ, you would just go in here and pick a node and just take out the mids, and that would affect the entire signal through the entire song, and it would just stay the same. Now, say I wanted the mids to be taken out, but only when they hit a certain threshold, because maybe they're peaking at a certain point in the song and not everywhere else. And you don't want to take the mids out of the entire song, just you want to tame that little piece. So what you would do in Personas is pretty easy. To activate dynamic EQ, all you'd have to do is open up your regular EQ, grab the node that you want to work on, and click the D button, and that activates dynamic mode. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the threshold and the range knobs to affect how much we take out of this frequency. So I'm going to lower the range, or heighten it if we wanted to boost it, but we're going to lower it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the threshold to where it's just working, almost like a compressor. You want it to work like a compressor, just kind of, it's working, but it's not taking all of it out at one time, right? So let's go ahead and play the track. And as you see, it's carving out a certain spot, but only when the threshold is hit. Okay, and that's what a dynamic EQ does. Now, sidechaining, it allows us to send one signal to affect or to trigger an effect while using another signal to use that effect. Okay, so what's that mean for a dynamic EQ? So it allows you to kind of, in this example, would allow you to take your vocals and kind of carve out a spot within the track, within the beat track, instead of setting them on top. And I'll show you what I mean here. And the way to set this up is very easy. Okay, what you would do is you would go in, and I'll zero all this out here. What you would do is you would go in to your EQ, go up to the top where it says sidechain, and turn that on. Now that's going to give you it's going to give you a different look up here. It's going to give you your original signal and the signal that's coming through. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click this little button here, and we're going to click send on the vocals because that's what we want in. And then we're just going to play the track. And what you would do is you would solo out the node or the area, just like this. Use your Q or your knee to kind of figure out what all of the frequencies you're trying to carve out. And I already know it's not that big. I've already kind of gone through this. So we're just going to set it to be about here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to use the frequency button to find where both tracks are kind of fighting for the same sound waves, okay? And I know it's just about in this spot here, so we'll go ahead and play the track.
gotta dream, you gotta push. You never know what's gonna happen. You don't. I took a step back for a while when most of y'all probably thought I was slacking. I'm back. Well, I'm getting my mind together just to get back.
You can kind of see where both lines are kind of fighting each other versus moving it around a little bit. So that's how you find the frequency where they're fighting, and then turn it off a solo. And what we're going to do is we're going to just adjust the range a little bit. We're going to turn it down. And I'll probably just go about halfway or so, but let's make it obvious. And then we'll turn the track back on and adjust the threshold to where the threshold's just barely working.
If you got a dream, you gotta push, yeah. If you got a dream, you gotta push. You never know what's gonna happen. I took a step back for a while when most of y'all probably thought I was slacking. I'm back. Well, I'm getting my mind together just to get better at singing and rapping. Okay.
And as you see, the vocals kind of sit in there a little bit more. And even if you take a look over here
So now I'm feeling quite better.
versus your input, we're actually losing a couple of dBs.
It's still a long.
We're actually losing a couple of dBs on the output of the EQ because we're setting the vocals inside of the frequencies instead of layering them on top and making everything louder. Now, how's this work with the curves equator? Simple. We'll go ahead and work that out too. So we'll shut this EQ off and we'll go ahead and just take it out completely. And we're going to work with the curves equator now. Now, the cool part about the curves equator, this is what it looks like here, is it's kind of an AI-driven EQ. And this is going to kind of help explain more what we're doing with the vocals versus what we're doing with the rest of the track. First off, to set this up, all we got to do is open this up, and it's going to, we want to click the learn button, and it's going to learn the original track, or it's just going to learn the beat track, because that's the track that it's on, and it's going to learn the EQ on it. So
If you got a dream, you gotta push, yeah. If you got a dream, you gotta push. You never know what's gonna happen. I took a step back for a while when most of y'all probably thought I was slacking. I'm back. Well, I'm getting my mind together just to get better at singing.
Go ahead and apply it there.
So now
And that's our EQ line for our track. Now I'll just leave it the way it is. We don't need to do anything, but I will lower the volume, or I guess I'd say up the volume of how much is being taken out. I'm just going to lower this a little bit. Now, to set up the sidechain, all you're going to do is go up to the top, click sidechain mode, and now it's on its second panel, and it just wants to learn the other setup here. So all we're going to do here is we're going to set that up. And to go ahead and set all that up, all you got to do is do the same thing. We're just going to go up here to the top where it says sidechain, and click on sidechain, click on the node, and click send to from the vocals. And then we're just going to click learn and play the track.
feeling quite better. I think I'm gonna get back at it, yeah. It's still a long journey, going through the gurney, leaves me burning, my whole heart earning, got me turning around.
Now, if you take a look, that red line we have here is our actual vocal EQ, but it's upside down. Okay, now this is why I like this so much, because what we're looking at now is the sidechain here, and as we play the song, the rest of the track is playing down here. Okay, now as we adjust our sidechain, it's going to go into the original track. Now this is why it explains it more, because this is what it's actually doing. What sidechaining and dynamic EQ does is it literally is carving out those frequencies out of the track and setting it inside of the sound. So let's go ahead and play the track now.
If you got a dream, you gotta push.
I'll make it very obvious.
If you got a dream, you gotta push. You never know what's gonna happen. I took a step back for a while when most of y'all probably thought I was slacking. Well, I'm getting my mind together just to get better at singing and rapping. So now I'm feeling quite better. I think I'm good.
And that's just using the Sidechain EQ from Curb's Equator. And that just, I think that sounds so much better than just doing this type of thing where we're sitting here and we gotta adjust this over the vocals. We gotta turn the vocals up. Now we gotta turn the track back up because there's a certain spot inside the vocals that gets wrong. We don't wanna go in and edit it. There's just a lot going on to place these two things together and not have a bad sound. So what dynamic EQing does is it allows you to kind of fit two tracks together without making them louder, just kind of let them sit inside of each other. That's really what sidechaining and dynamic EQ does. And so that's my video for the day. I hope this helps. And if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'll put some links down in the bio. There, my Spotify music is going off, so go ahead and click that and check that out for me too. Anyway, you all have a good day.